Do you find yourself yelling at your kids and you just really want to stop doing that because it makes you feel horrible? In this video, I'm going to give you several things that can help you make a change and stop yelling. If you are yelling constantly and you know that it's giving a negative effect to your relationship with your child, what it means is you're struggling. And if you're struggling, something needs to change. An occasional bout of yelling is going to be happening with just about every parent. It happens with me every so often, and I hope that doesn't make you feel full of guilt. All you have to do is apologize and try to do better the next time. But if it's a daily occurrence and you're doing it all the time, you definitely need to change that. So here's what you can do. Number one, change your mindset. Most of the time, we yell because we're frustrated and we feel like we can't make things happen the way we want them to, or we feel disrespected and disregarded. Most of the frustration is that we just don't know what to do at the moment, and so that frustration boils over and we yell. But what if, when our children misbehave, instead of feeling frustrated, we think differently? We think, this is an opportunity to enact a plan that I have ahead of time in my mind of what to do to teach or train my child to behave better. In other words, you train your brain to think, wow, this is an opportunity. I get to try this plan out that I have to try to fix the problem, rather than letting the frustration boil over and giving an outburst in yelling. So again, when they misbehave, think differently. Think this is an opportunity. Number two, have a plan. In order for this to work, you do have to have a plan in mind of what you're going to do about those behaviors that trigger that frustration in you and cause you to want to yell. Now, I know not all of the frustration that causes you to yell is about the way your child's behaving, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But if it is about specific behaviors that happen with your child, it's good to have a plan in mind so that when that misbehavior happens, you don't feel like yelling. You feel like, wow, let's enact this plan. So you have to have a plan, obviously. So in order to start working on stopping the yelling, first you need to think, what triggers that with me and my child? Is there something my child does, a misbehavior, a disregarding behavior, a disrespectful behavior, that triggers my frustration and I start to yell? And if you have something like that in mind, think about, what plan can I enact the next time this happens? Now, like I said before, sometimes the problem is you just don't know what to do. So what I'm going to suggest is that you look on this channel. There's lots of step-by-step instructional videos for specific behaviors. So let's say your child won't eat their food, or they talk back, or they're disrespectful, or they hit their brother or sister, or they're bickering with their brother or sister, or whatever. So what those do is those give you plans. So if you watch those videos, you have a plan in mind. Then when that behavior happens, you're going to have that thought, oh, this is an opportunity to enact that plan. Number three, train your child to behave. Once you have the mindset and the plan ready, it's time to implement it. Remember, consistency is the key to effectiveness. The yelling will not stop if you try something but quickly give up and give in. You have to be consistent to make any plan work. As you are implementing the plans, remember this is a training session, and it's not just about this moment and stopping the child from the behavior for this moment, but it's to teach them and train them how to behave for all the future moments. Your taking this time to teach and train them is well worth it. All this will help you stop yelling in the future. Number four, set reasonable expectations. One of the causes of parental frustration can be that you have expectations that are higher than your child is capable of reaching. For example, maybe your expectation is they'll never misbehave. And if you're thinking about it and you're talking with somebody, of course you would say, of course they'll misbehave sometimes. But then when it happens, it always surprises you and it causes you to be more frustrated. You might think, we've already talked about that. I expected that to be done by now. Just keep in mind that children are people and people make mistakes and they make wrong judgments, and sometimes they just do something wrong on purpose just because they want to. So if you keep in mind that your children will make mistakes and they will make bad judgments and they will do things wrong on purpose, and that's to be expected, when it happens, it won't be quite as frustrating. Number five, find time to relax. Okay, so far I've talked about how we yell because our children are misbehaving. But sometimes it isn't about our child at all, is it? Sometimes it's just that we get weak because we're tired, we're emotionally drained, or whatever the case may be, and so we're short-tempered and irritable. Of course, that's a different matter. In that case, your child might not be doing anything that's misbehaving at all. It's really just about the way you're feeling, and I know I've had that happen to me. And when I have had that happen to me, what I've discovered is that's a time when I've stopped taking care of myself. And I know a lot of people give the advice to take some deep breaths and walk away and all that, and those are good things to do for the moment, but they aren't really long-lasting solutions to the problem of being irritable because you're out of energy, because you're overwhelmed. The truth is, in order to be the best and most effective parent you can be, you do need to have some time to relax and to rejuvenate. So don't feel guilty about taking some time for yourself. And if you think, I have little children, I don't have any time for myself. I'm a full-time working mom, or I just have so many things going on and so many things that I'm responsible for, I don't have time for myself. If that's the way you're feeling, then I want to suggest that you click on the card on the screen now to see a video that will tell you exactly what you can do to get time to yourself, whether you have little ones or not. Believe me, this is one of the best ways to help you stop yelling, is to take care of yourself and give yourself some time to relax. Parents, you can do this. Check out the next video, and I hope to see you here next week.